Hi, Varsha. Thank you so much for helping my project. Could
Hi,
you say a little
Nathan.
bit about yourself?
Hi, so I'm Varsha. I am a finance professional working with HP. I am based out of India, and yeah, I have a son. So yeah, blessed with a 2-year-old toddler that keeps me on my toes. Yeah,
I remember those times. You're always running after them.
yeah, I know. It just passes with a blink of an eye. So uh, yeah.
Yeah, this is true too. My kids are 25 and 21, and it seems like just yesterday they were two.
Uh, okay, that's nice.
What are some of the things that you're interested in? What are your hobbies?
So I'm interested in swimming. I really, really enjoy swimming. Anything to do with water. And I have learned, I'm not like very pro with swimming, but yeah, my next goal is to learn scuba diving and swimming in the sea, which I can't still do. So yes, and sometimes cooking, but that's on and off. That depends if I have some help to clean the kitchen, uh, kitchen floor after that. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, kitchen staff. So these are the two things that I like.
Yeah, no, swimming sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And my son is also gone on me, so he's also I have a good company that ways because he also loves water. So the day I feel tired, he's there always to take me there, and he'll start getting stubborn. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So have you been aware of like all the things that ISRO's been doing in terms of space. They chose 4 astronauts this year to go on the first Indian space human spacecraft next year, I think.
No, I'm not aware of the developments. I am only like to a certain extent aware of the recent spacecraft that they have sent to the south pole of moon, and yeah, but not too aware of, of of the future developments that they are planning to do. I do
Yeah, it's
follow a
really
little bit here and there, so there are a few pages that I follow. Of not ISRO, but of Hubble spacecraft. They send amazing pictures that satellites, so I do like that. And sometimes on and off a little bit thing that I might find interesting that I will just Google and try to find out. But yeah, I am not a very ardent follower like what's going to be the future development in ISRO. I mean by ISRO.
yeah, it's really amazing. And, they also sent a probe to Mars as well a few years back. I think they even made a movie about it too. So that
Yeah.
was kind of neat.
Yes. Yeah, they have a couple of documentaries also. Yes.
Um, and then back in 1972 was the last person to actually walk on the moon. And NASA's working on sending astronauts back to the moon again. I was wondering if you had heard about this.
No, I haven't heard of this. I I do I never thought about uh, a manned mission to moon. I always know that there is some satellite or something that that Earth that we have sent from NASA or ISRO that's around the moon or in our Earth's orbit. But it never clicked to me that that 1962 was the last when we had a manned mission to moon. So, uh, but that would be
Yeah,
quite interesting. Uh,
it's not surprising to me you haven't heard about it. I even asked people on the street right around NASA, did you know that
uh,
NASA's sending astronauts back to the moon? And, most
oh,
of the time people say no. So
oh, so I'm not the only one who doesn't have that much knowledge.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would say maybe 80% of the people I talk to
Uh,
are their attention is on other things, so it doesn't come to their attention.
oh,
What do you think about us sending people back to the moon? Do you think it's a good and exciting idea that leads to better things? Or do you think, why are we spending so much money on it? And, why aren't we taking care of, say, problems here on Earth? Or is there something else that you think about it?
I I think it's a very very interesting, and like human beings, we always need something to look forward to and something to explore and just keep doing something. So I do understand the financial part of it. So I think that's the reason, maybe because of the gap from 1962 to 2024. But at the same time, I also think that uh, it's a very good thing if we are sending people. That's going to be very encouraging, and have it'll build a lot of confidence in people like us, because we all know that in future we are planning, like if things go fine, a lot of decades or years down the line, we will be having a small colony or something like that in Mars if it's habitable. So for that we need to take that small step. So if we land on the moon, if we send people to the moon, that will help build that confidence. So one is that, and then as we know that that we had this Chandrayaan 3 from ISRO that was sent, the spacecraft that was sent to the south pole of moon. So there were a lot of resources that they tried to find out. I'm not very expert on this subject, but I think like they found the sulfur, chromium, and all of that. So maybe like for Earth, if we have such frequent visits, we are also able to find something. uh, uh, a humanly touch will help explore and discover these resources more. So like we are moving to renewable sources of energy, so maybe we try to find some resources or something that helps us here on Earth. So yeah, that's so I think it's a good thing. I would look forward to that. I'm sure a lot of people also.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point about resources. I think back to like 1968, the first time that we went around the moon. Um,
Mhm.
the astronauts were like so surprised to like see Earth from that distance. And, we have like that picture of the Earth kind of rising over the moon. And, it just looks like just a regular ball, like so small and stuff. And then, people
Yeah.
say that that really helped to, and, jumpstart the environmental movement. The
Oh,
realization that Earth was actually not as big as people think it is.
okay. Oh, is it?
So,
Yeah.
so maybe it'll help improve our perspective as well, in addition to finding resources.
Yes, yes, true. That's it.
When you think out 200 years in the future, um, what does it look like to you? Is it much different than it is now? Is it better? Is it worse?
I'm quite optimistic about the future. It's definitely going to be better with so many advancements in technological space, and uh, people are becoming more conscious. So it's going to be like, be it from sustainability perspective or taking care of themselves. I think, and also if you talk about the technological advancements, so I'm sure it's going to be a very good future there for us, and especially if I look from the space perspective. So I have a lot of high hopes. So I would say that I'm definitely, maybe not 200 years down the line, but definitely like something more to that. We might be traveling to space. Not I mean, if I don't look at the financial and my physical limitation or something, but at least a group of people, at least a dozen of people, would be definitely uh, have traveled to space, and in Mars or Moon or something. So yeah.
Well, but do you think in 200 years we have people just living their lives on the moon and on Mars? Like, could you imagine like a 200-year in the future version of yourself uh, having a 2-year-old and swimming on Mars?
I won't be surprised for sure. I and I think it's also possible in 200 years, because the rapid growth that we have had in the last few decades, and plus with the coming of I am sure there'll be some breakthrough technology making it even at a much accelerated speed. So, to travel to Mars or to make life more habitable there with the resources that we already have there, plus some resources we might try to make it artificially built over there, or make it from travel from Earth. I don't know the feasibility part of it as a layman, but yeah, uh, I won't be surprised if we have Mars. In fact, I have very high hopes, as I told you, that I would also be interested in, like after the 200 years, that we might have some robot or something that's able to travel through black hole also, and maybe give us a 3D or a 7D video to, experience that. I understand for humans it's not possible, but I'm sure for robot, something can be built. So with that in mind, in 200 years for sure, Mars and Moon, there will be something. Uh, and maybe it's just for space tourism sort of thing. That's the concept that we are hearing about these days. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic about that.
In talking about space tourism, if you had the option to travel to space, would you take it?
As I told, if I don't have any financial or physical limitation, I would love to take that opportunity. And of course, there should be a little bit reasonable probability that, a level of assurance that I can come back to my family. Then why won't I? I would love to travel, not just to like our galaxy, maybe to other galaxy also, if possible, or if we have that.
That's awesome. Well, Varsha, that's all the questions I had for you. Did you have any questions for me or anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, I I don't have anything specific. I do have some small questions here and there which keeps coming in my mind, which I try to Google. Sometimes I find, sometimes I don't find. And the picture that you're talking about, I think you talked about a few minutes back regarding Earth. I think maybe you can share that with me after this interview. And yeah, uh, and and what do you think? I think I would also want to know your view. Like maybe 200 years being in NASA, do you really think it's possible that we can have this space tourism enabled there in Moon or in Mars?
Well, I'm also a very much an optimist too, and I'm really thrilled about what SpaceX is doing in terms of their vision and plans. They're working on creating a 100% reusable spacecraft that
Oh,
will be able to carry the most amount of material to space than any other spacecraft, but would be the cheapest to operate since you only have to pay for the fuel and maintenance.
okay.
Um, and they've done 3 test flights of it so far, and they've been getting better and better and better. And they're about to do the 4th test flight in May, I think. And they're
Okay.
talking about uh, landing people on Mars before the end of 2030, and then in the next 20 years, actually building a city on Mars that maybe has 1 million people on it. So this
Oh,
is this is
and then
their
I would say I
vision.
was being optimistic when I was saying 200 years. I should have said 30, 40 years, I think then. Oh, yes, right.
So I think this is something you and I would be able to see in our lifetimes. And
Um, um,
we really might have the option to travel to space. Like, I mean, you go from, they're also planning to use this rocket system for Earth to Earth travel. So you could go from Houston to Bangalore in 30 minutes.
oh, oh, 30 minutes. That's it. Oh, that's
Yes.
very, very interesting. And I'm sure people here in HB will be glad because you have to travel around 1 or 2 days during every 3 months. So every quarter. So yeah, that saves them a lot of time uh, and
Yeah.
help them adjust with the jet lag.
They'll be like, yeah, I'll come there, but I'll just be there for the meetings and I'll come home at night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So in Bangalore, even if you have to travel to our office, there's so much of traffic at times. So that itself takes 1.5 hours. So 30 minutes that you're telling is definitely,
And
I
in the
can't even
process,
imagine that honestly. So,
you also get to go into space,
all right.
and you also get to float a little bit too.
Awesome. Right. Yes.
So I think it's going to
And
be
what if it makes us
wonderful.
younger also? So, uh,
Say that again.
so I'm not. I think like when we go into space because of the gravitational force being down, it might help us look a little younger because of that time and gravity sort of things. I'm just telling that might also help us in looking a little younger. So yeah, like when you
That would
travel frequently in space. So yeah,
that would be interesting. Yeah, maybe,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Well, Varsha, thank you so much for your time
Thanks, Nathan.
today, and I'll send you that picture that I was talking about that the
Yes.
Apollo 8 astronauts took.
Yeah,
Um,
and all other interesting pictures if you have or any link.
I sure thing. Yeah, no, I'm more than happy to send you stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you. Well, have a good rest of your day.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.